Rebecca Josue Soto. Thank you for tuning in to the Married in Real Estate Show, where couples speak on how to create a business and a life of love.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We are here today with Todd and Angie Schroth, and they are a powerhouse couple local here in the Orlando area. Specifically, are you guys in Lake Mary, Longwood? What areas is it that you cover?
Orlando and Volusia County. We're kind of that 5-county region. We've got the office in Altamont Springs, live in Longwood. We got an office in Daytona Beach.
Welcome. And I see that you, Todd, have been in the industry for about 25 years. That is, wow, a long time to be in the industry. And then Angie came and joined you within the last 3 years. So tell us a little bit about that dynamic, having already been so long in the industry. And now, Angie, and tell us a little bit about your background, your kids, your pets, and how that all works together.
How does that all work together? Well, it's new every day, first off. it's always something new, but yeah.
My history, I got into real estate right out of high school. So I tried college, 3 different schools over 3 different semesters, and it didn't work, and real estate seemed to be the play, and did the investments, and I fell into the investment side of it and got into sales at 25, and here I am 28 years later still selling. My parents I grew up in this business, so my parents both have their license, and so it was just a second nature for me. And then just getting married and being in the business, and I brought her in kicking and screaming.
It was kind of a natural transition, but I'm never gonna work together. I'm never gonna get into real estate. But we just always talked about it, and not like bringing it home, but just naturally you do. So I'm like, let me get my license. I can better understand the business and some more help the back end, because we're always about the kids and family, and we like being home. And people say it gets easier as they get older, but I find that it's getting more challenging, and we need to be more present than ever. They're in middle school now, so I'm like, I keep trying to get more involved. I'm like, nope, I need that flexibility, and we need to be focused on the family too. So it's just a balancing act every day. Yeah.
It really is. It's finding that balance between the two of you. And I understand that, Todd, you work with most of the sales and training agents and things like that. And Angie, you're doing staging consultations and kind of the backbone of the business, and taking more part in the management. Tell us a little bit about that. How is that working so far between the two of you?
I think it works well. It's a demanding, like I said, we want to be present for the kids at home. So the weekends, the evenings, it's demanding, and I'd love to go on listing appointments with Todd. That's ultimately maybe the goal, but for now it works. So he's great also, scheduling time to help me with that aspect. And then as far as business decisions, we just play off each other and kind of support each other with what's next.
Yeah, she takes a lot off my plate with that, which helps out a lot. I'm not 100% into the management side of it. She's handling that with the support team and kind of helping us in the growth mode, because we are trying to double our team size right now, and that is a lot. We just had 150 resumes sent in this weekend on an ad, and it was like, holy cow! And it just going through that and picking the right people out that we want to set up the second calls with and stuff. And that's the biggest thing, is just the help there.
And it took a long time for Todd to be able to delegate and not have his hands involved with everything. But he's like, okay. I'm like, just do it. Rachel, just do it. Let's buy it, or approved.
I could imagine this being 25 years, working pretty much, having come from that family that's already in the business, and now you've been doing it for 25 years, to kind of include someone else could present its challenges, as you're already used to just doing things on your own and being the one that makes the calls all the time. But what a nice thing when you can bring someone in and they share in that, and you kind of get used to that dynamic, that new dynamic, and now the responsibilities being divided are just a little bit easier, right? Josh and I can also relate to you guys, wanting to keep that balance with the kids, because in the beginning, when our kids were a little bit younger, that's why we wanted to do this business, is to kind of be able to manage our schedules and be more present for the kids, you know, in their sports and whatever activities that they were involved in. And so real estate really did offer us that ease to be able to manage our own schedules. So
now, Angie, you mentioned that it was hard for Todd to let go. Was it something that, Todd, it was hard for you to let go of all the responsibilities? Is that what you're referring to?
No, so like when I hired my first assistant 12 years ago, it was just letting go of that part of the file. And, you know, we did everything on my own. You know, I was the marketer, the transaction coordinator, the realtor, everything. So when you're you know, if ask Rachel, she's been with me 8 years. She goes, I had to pull stuff out of you to know what's going on with files. And she's calling for an update, and I'm yelling through the other room. That's already done because I'm not keeping them, you know, up to date. But now I'm like hands off with pretty much all the sales stuff. I mean, the admin stuff, because I know they have it under control. But it's also finding the right people, and you know, the business decisions as well. I mean, she knows as well. I mean, I go home, we talk about this stuff all the time, so she knows what we're doing, the growth mode we're in, and what's trying to happen. And you know, it is good to have that conversation with that. And I'm happy to let them do it. I mean, and then let the reins go there.
Yeah, that was me a couple of years ago. Same thing. It was hard for me to. I was almost used to Rebecca and I handling things, and for us to be able to let go a couple of years ago and have our GC, and now we're hiring an assistant and everything. But I tell you right now, it has helped us build our team and build our responsibility have lessened in that regard. So it was the best choice we did, honestly.
So now you guys have a team as well, is that right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your team and how that's been working for you guys.
Okay.
Sure. So we are 6 agents wide right now, and we've got 3 administrators or 3 support. They're actually the ones who really run the team. Because if it wasn't for them, the team would go apart. But that's Angie and myself. And then we're in growth mode right now. So we've taken one of our team members and we're grooming them to be a sales leader to kind of help manage, you know, a certain group of agents. And we're also looking to hire another 6 agents on the team, hence trying to look for another sales leader as well to help manage those. So I can keep our company running, still do my production, and not be working 80, 100 hours a week. And we're closing between 30 to 35 million a year. We've actually exceeded last year's numbers just with the group we've got. And so we're hoping to go from about 200 to, if we hit the numbers, it should be about 300 sales next year.
That is outstanding.
What we have going on.
That is outstanding. Congratulations on that. I can see that you've already hit about 108 transactions.
Yeah, we're so far for the year.
Wow, that is awesome. Congratulations on that. That is amazing work. You guys are doing well. And I know that running a team sometimes presents its own challenges, but it seems like you guys are on the road there to success with that team. Yeah,
I like the way you're scaling your business, which is awesome. You know, for eventually you moving away from is that the plan? You're moving away from production eventually?
I don't know. I like being out with the clients. I mean, I'm still out in the field working with buyers and working with sellers. But the people that I'm out with are my past clients and my referral base. And for me, it's hard to let that go. But I do let a handful of that, you know, give a handful of that over to the team. And but I got to see where the next 5 years takes us. You know, it's hard to want to let go, but at the same time, it'd be nice to here's the business. You know, I'll manage. You guys handle the stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly the same track that we're looking at right now. Wow, that's pretty cool.
What would you say has been your greatest challenge so far?
Growth.
Work and team and all that.
I mean, it's just we've had setbacks and trying to move forward. Just embracing it all, and it's just different every day, and it's like we need to, you know, if you have a setback, moving forward. And just,
you know, I it's kind of playing off of that. It's, you know, our biggest challenge has been finding the right people that fit your plan and want to be part of your culture going forward. I mean, you don't join a team to sit there and make $1 million. You join a team for the culture and a lot of other things. and what the team can bring you. And, you know, it's finding those right people, getting them and keeping them engaged and keeping them working, and keeping the stuff in front of them. That's been, I think, our biggest challenge. And we're on the right path right now. I think we've aligned ourselves over the last 18 months with the right partners and the right coaches and the right people to help put that all in place.
Good
Yeah, that is so true. You know, I think that's at one time we were like that too earlier in the year, that, you know, we just didn't feel like it was actually growing at the pace that we wanted it to be. And it wasn't until we took a step back and kind of realized that, you know what, not everyone is going to fit your culture. So honestly, it's a progress, but it's been a good progress, and slowly and steady. But we've been building our team just like you guys.
And I think for us, anyways, as we have continued doing our trainings and getting out there and just staying connected with that team, it has kind of created its culture, and it is attracting the tribe.
Right.
So, you know, that saying that tribe is true, because you really do attract people who are like-minded, like you. So I really have been having a lot of fun growing our team, and I know that you guys are growing as well. So, you know, any chance that we get that we can mastermind with other couples or other agents to see how they're doing it, what's helping them or not hurting, but, you know, what things to look out for. We're always wanting to see how we can get in those rooms so that we can, you know, just improve, right, every day. And I think it's just always a work in progress. It's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
So how would you say that you guys manage getting through difficulties? I don't know if you're anything like Josh and I. We have a lot of differences. We're very different people. And so what do you guys do?
I'll let you answer that so I don't get in trouble.
Getting through difficulties. I mean, yeah, it naturally happens. Like, you try not to give the cold shoulder and just talk it out and don't dwell on any issues, move past it. But I mean, it's marriage. Yeah, it's the biggest thing is don't bring work home. But I mean, we work from home, from the office and from home, so it's hard to do that. And obviously, this business is not a business. I mean, you should shut off at a certain time. I try to, but there's something that needs to be answered, I answer. But it's like we need to learn to keep the conversations around the kids about family, not real estate. When we're sitting there just driving, then we'll have our conversations about the business and real estate and stuff. But, you know, when we're with the kids, we need to keep it strictly, you know, family stuff.
I think that's a balance, because it's so easy. I mean, when you love what you're doing, you can't help but to talk about it all the time.
It's like we love what we're doing.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot like us. You know, we try to.
We'll tell each other, okay, no more real estate, and it's like a couple seconds later, we're back on it again.
We enjoy talking about it, so the kids are like, oh, we're always talking about real estate again.
Not again.
Not again, Mom. Stop that.
Yeah, it is really difficult. You're right, Todd, when sometimes you try not to bring it home and something comes up and you have to take care of it at that moment. And sometimes it's a little difficult to find that balance. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So do you guys have like any morning routines or anything that you guys do to just kind of to take the conversation away from real estate and bring it back to being a couple?
I don't know. Our last, we just hired a personal trainer. So we've got some one-on-one sessions with him. So it's like our Tuesdays and Thursdays are doing that. That's our new morning routine. But prior to that, it's only 2 days a week. But hey, my arms hurt from today. They'll be good for Thursday. Back on Tuesday and ready for pain again. But you know, it's funny because you want to block your time that you're talking about stuff. So we wake up at 6:30 in the morning, sit outside with the dogs, run around the pool, and all we sit and talk about is real estate. I'm like, this is not our morning stuff, but that's like the time before the kids get up and the routine starts with them and getting them out the house to school.
It's more like our time without interruptions.
Yeah.
And we were actually walking the dogs for a good 20 minutes, and like we were talking about things about the day or yesterday. But it's like people are like, don't you guys aren't you sick of working with each other? We never even see each other all day. Like, this is very rare that we're sitting next to each other. So it's like it's hard to connect. So like that 20 minutes is where we can connect about
Right.
things. So we need to improve on that. Like we're waking up earlier, but I'd love to get into a good solid morning routine. Working on it. That's a work in progress.
Tuesdays and Thursdays what we have down so far.
Yeah, but what's good is that you're actually realizing, that something has to change, and you're taking that action to move.
Steps,
Yeah, I mean, same thing with us. I mean, I love to work out. It's been a while, but I like to work out and get up early and just go work out. And even if I don't do it, I go for a jog. I always go for a jog with our son, and I also walk the dog in the morning. I kind of enjoy that moment to myself, to be honest with you.
You guys also have 2 dogs as well. We have a dog. It's officially been 1 year since we picked her up. And one of the things we enjoy doing is going to the dog park. So do you guys do any routines with the dogs particularly?
I used to enjoy walking the dog. When we had 1, that was great because I could get my podcast in, and now we have 2. It's more of a nightmare because it's constantly doing this and pulling the leash and fixing that. So my dog walking time is more stressful now than it was enjoyable. We haven't taken the boat to a dog park yet. No, we need to do that.
Yeah, our younger one needs it. Our older one is like, why did you bring this thing home? And when is she leaving?
Yeah, darn COVID. You had to buy a COVID puppy.
COVID puppy to keep you company.
I always say that Todd should have been a comedian in another world. Is that correct? Is he even funny at home too?
He's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I enjoy his
your post. Oh man, your post. My
memes
day.
he drops all day long.
Yes.
I'm like, Todd, keep them coming because he laughs.
So damn memes.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
So let's talk next about your best vacation or date night together. And I see here you had mentioned something about a concert. So tell us a little bit about that concert. Who was it, and what did you love about it?
So it was our 10-year anniversary, and we love Zach Brown, and he did go to Mexico, to Cancun every year to Hard Rock, and had a 4-day concert there. So and it was in February, the month of our anniversary. So it was like, let's go there for our anniversary. So that was like getting away, doing 4 days of concerts with Zach and a couple other bands that are there. I think that was like one of our best vacations we've had.
Yeah,
well, that's pretty cool, man. 4 or 5 days of concerts, man, and hanging out in Cancun. Nothing is better than that.
Yeah. So we couldn't beat that. It was an awesome trip.
Yeah.
Sounds like
We did some other trips, but
I'm gonna have to check out Zach Brown.
I know.
Check out his music. And you said that was country music?
It's country beach music.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to look him up. I don't think I've heard of him.
So besides this, you guys normally do you guys have like a schedule for you two, like a date night, or you guys tried? I know that you guys have three or four children, right? Two children.
Dude, don't.
no.
Now we need to do more of that, and that's it's I think with the kids' schedules and stuff, I think it supersedes our time, and we need to correct that. We got our son's in travel baseball, so that's every other weekend for Saturday, Sunday, and 3 days at the ballpark, and our daughter with her horseback riding and whatever other event she wants to try and get involved in. So we're 3 nights a week. We're going separate directions. So we've got to find that time together.
Yeah.
I remember those days, guys. I was same here, Todd. With Rebecca, our little ones, man, we had one in basketball, one in baseball, one in softball. So I used to be an umpire at the same time. So I had to coach those two in baseball, and then I was an umpire in between games. So I know what you're talking about. It was very difficult at times to help to kind of balance that out. And then I get kicked out of arenas because I'll be arguing with the refs in basketball.
He never stops. He's yelling. He's coaching from the stands. It's embarrassing.
I think I'm the only parent that ever got kicked out of a Magic's game.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, there's some on the teams, but I try to stand back. I coached both of them when they were younger, and I don't coach from the stands anymore. They need somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, I think that I was that's one of the things that, as we're writing this book, it came back. A lot of that reflected back on, as I was writing, and I was just to think back and remember all those memories, man. That's what I think about. That's why we do it. And that's why we work so hard, to realize that, we do a lot of it for them, and just to and enjoy that time, because you know what, I know that it's difficult to kind of spend time with each other, but to spend time with them and for them to know that mom and dad are there for them, that's those memories never go away,
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you hear that, and the season will pass, so it's like you soak it up, because at some point that's going to end and it'll be a different season. But like we go through waves where I'm like, I just told him, like, I feel like we're business partners, like we need a date night. So we went to the
you guys are local, so we need to definitely set something up together.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can do a couples night and go out and just enjoy the time together, because you're right, we get caught up in work and of course, when you have kids, sometimes, well, most of the time, your free time is taken up by the kids as well. But it's so important to invest that time.
Right. It is.
Yep.
Ask you, because having been, Todd, so many years in the industry now, bringing in Angie, do you guys do like your vision planning together, or business planning, and how do you guys do that?
I think with the business planning, we just started doing that a little bit more in the last 2 years. We need to sit down more often and write out our 5 and 10 year goals, and we're not heavy into that. We just did, what was it, January? Mm-hmm. We did a vision board with the team, which was pretty cool. We brought in all the old magazines and put our vision boards up. So mine's still in my office. I still don't have the 6-pack body. I don't have the yacht. I don't have. I got another 45 minutes.
Okay, reminding you.
Board,
I love it. Yeah. It's one of those things that Josh and I also, having been in the industry for a while, we hadn't been exposed to that, hadn't done it. And within the last couple of years, we were put on as well. And but I think it's something that's important that we bring up in our book as well, because I think it's important not only for you to do it individually, but I think for married couples or even just partners and people who are dating, you have to take into consideration each other's visions and goals, right? So as he creates his vision plan and I do my own, I think we need to bring those together so that when we're doing our business planning, we're all working towards the same goals, right? So I think that's something that could be very helpful for couples so that you don't grow apart, right? Because if each one is kind of doing their own thing and sprouting off into a different aspect of the business, it could be very easy for people to get disconnected, right? And I think that's what often is one of the contributors of divorce, would be that, you're no longer connecting, you're no longer working toward that same goal, and you feel like you're just going in different directions. You're just now going in a different direction. And so I think it's important to bring those vision boards together and make that happen. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's great. Because my goals may not be the same goals as hers, but if you put them together and do a merge, and then you can learn what each other wants. I'm just sitting there thinking, as you're talking about that, like I have certain goals for certain team members, and yet I learned that they don't want those same things. They just want to do a certain business or whatever. So it's more learning what that person wants to get and how you can help achieve that. And obviously you have a minimum standard you want them to be at, but if they're there and they want to just stay there, don't take the person that wants to, don't expect them to be up here when they want to be here, and you can get them there.
Absolutely.
So, I think that's great for us. We need to do that separate and then kind of sit down and go through them together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Rebecca and I, as we were writing this book, we realized that was something that we were lacking even from the coaching side, Todd. I mean, I've had my own personal coaches. She's had her own personal coaches, but we never had the opportunity to coach with the same person. And we will get like, well, I'm only coaching this person. I'm only coaching this person. We never had that opportunity till now that we were able to find the right coach and find mentors to kind of get, build this together instead of individually. So
right.
That's one of the things that we struggled through the years. And it was, man, honestly, it was frustrating because I would have my goals and I'm set for it. But then she's like, well, wait a minute. I didn't know any of this.
Where am I in those goals?
Right.
Yeah, so
together.
Yeah,
that helps.
I've had business coaches for the last 10 years, and the last 2-3 coaches, and one's been a very long time, but we've kind of been trying to find that right fit that can put us in the right growth mode. And the last 2 that we've had, we've been on the calls together so we can get off and have the same vision together.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a big change for me, having her on those calls when we get done. How's the call? I don't remember. I got to decipher the notes.
Yeah.
That presents us problems. I know that early on, and of course, being new to coaching back when we started, you had either the individual or the team, and the team assuming that it was like, I don't know, like 3 or at least 4 or 5 on the team, and then that you would get that coaching for the team. And I thought, well, where's the one for the couples? Because individual, and it doesn't help if only one person is getting that coaching. And I just thought there has to be a better way. So, if only one of us is getting help, then the other one is clueless. And if the other one doesn't take good notes, that's a really bad scenario.
Right there with you.
Oh my gosh, guys. So do you have any tips for couples working in real estate together, want to work in real estate together?
Yeah.
As our coach said, don't.
Yeah, I love that. He's like, are you in production? And he's like, okay, you want to stay married? Then stay.
Yeah.
Keep it the way it is.
That was the first thing he said. Are you in production? And she's like, no. Then don't get in production.
I like that because I always feel like the pressure too. I'm like, I feel like I don't want to be like a facade like in the background, but it does work. And I think like respecting each other's schedules and helping each other in that aspect is important.
I'm coaching one couple right now who just got into the business, and my biggest thing I said to them when they first started was, you guys each need to find your place. You don't each need to work on the same inspection. You guys don't need to each run that buyer around. You don't, because then it's just, there's no need. So one can work on the business, the other one can work the sales, or vice versa, or, go out and work separate clients. Or one's a great administrator, so the other one's a great salesperson. Work that side of it. Not that they're an admin, but that's the part of the 50% of the business that they're going to run. So that's where I think you've got to find those happy mediums, is know your place in the business and where your strengths are and work on those.
I love it. And we can definitely relate to that as well. And, when Josh and I first started, we each had our own clients, and we're just kind of learning, how to do this. And we came in together. So it was kind of like neither one of us knew anything. And he had a whole different set of friends. I had a whole different set of friends. And we each had our own clients. But at some point, you start to see the strengths that each side has. And for us, it was just something that just kind of naturally started to come together. So he really wanted to be out more with the clients, especially when we think of like safety. There's so many things that can happen when you're showing property, and specifically to people you don't know, haven't met before. Josh never wanted me out on the front line, so he would say, "No, that's okay, I'll take that one," and he would go to the property, right? And so. With that, then I start to say, well, you know what? I'm a little bit better doing the marketing, or I'm a little better doing this, I'm doing that. And he was stronger doing, another aspect. And so it just kind of, in the beginning, no one was really laying out, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that. It just kind of like organically worked itself out. And then every now and then, there's that little stepping of toes, and you figure out real quick where those boundary lines are.
Yeah. Our new coach and our mentor right now, when he sends us these sheets of the responsibility, it kind of opened our eyes to like, wow, you know what? All we needed was to really tweak a couple things here and there, but we were kind of in line. So he was kind of blown away by that, because I guess he don't see that every day, So, and we also have a couple couples on our team, new agents that are couples, and we're kind of guiding them the same way you are, Todd, which I think that's the most important part into running a couple's business together, is that they have to understand what their roles are, from the beginning.
Right.
So do you guys have any projects that you're working on? Or I think you have a live show that you do as well. Is that right, Todd? We
do. We started a Facebook group called Agents Who Win. So that's kind of like what you guys are doing. We're just trying to help build with the agent community. things that I've learned over the last 20 years, and just trying to give back. And so I do that show on Fridays at 3. And we're just trying to find industry leaders around the area, or not around the area, around the country that we can interview that can just give some information back that can help the agents. Not necessarily agents interviewing agents, but people like coaches. And I mean, we had Veronica on, not talking about her business, but talking about Zillow. So what the people want to know.
Awesome. And so if anyone wants to get connected with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Find me on Facebook, or if you join the group, we'll be able to connect through there. Or just I'm on Facebook way too much. So if you post anything or just message me on Facebook, I do see the message request and I will respond back.
Awesome. Well, guys, any closing words as we're wrapping it up here, coming up on 30 minutes already?
Yeah.
No, we appreciate you and having us on the show, and we love it. I think it's definitely a much needed topic. So we wish you guys the best of luck.
No, thank you again.
You want to read the book?
Yeah, we're looking forward to the book to gain some other insights. It was a pleasure doing this. Really appreciate it.
And we really appreciate you guys taking the time to share with us some of the dynamics of your team. And we at a time. Thank you so much for being with us. And for our viewers, if you want to get a hold of a copy of our book, Married in Real Estate, all you need to do is go to marriedinrealestate.com. We thank you, and we'll be back tomorrow with another interview. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, guys.